Let me tell you about a story. How we met her cloak bound about their law enforcement, a right bunch of clowns. How they wear their badge like a plastic crown. How they stick into a story of which they are now bound. It's a rabbit hole they don't want you to go down. But over in Wisconsin, they're doubling down.
Hello, everybody. Start and you know. Whoops, wrong thing. Hold on, everybody. I can't see you just yet. That little ditty that you were hearing there is from Stacy Seabrook, by the way. I've been having people ask, so I thought I'd mention that while I'm trying to navigate to this video here. It's not coming up. Okay, so this stop streaming. Okay, stream health is good. Well, I'm not able to get to it. Hold on, folks. Just a second. Why is not showing it to me? Let me bring it up the video. Hold on, folks. I'm having trouble here. I can't see what you guys are saying here. I don't know why it's not. Wow. Whole point of going live the other day was to avoid this. Why is it not? There it is, finally. All right. There it is, finally. Hello, everybody. Hi. How you doing? So, that first episode. Oh, my Lord. I honestly am going to stick... Hello, everybody. Hi. How you doing? I'm gonna stick to what I was saying before about that it wasn't anything that literally like really shocked me, but it was really awesome to see Zellner's expert Stuart James explaining the blood spatter, basically explaining why the state's explanation of the blood spatter is ridiculous. All that stuff was awesome. That was great. I also particularly enjoyed at the beginning when they had some of Teresa's friends talking about her and just saying some really nice things about her. I thought that was really great because she did seem like she was a pretty well-liked person, pretty terrific person. I thought that I just liked that. It was a really good part that I enjoyed. You took a day off of work. I also got the day off to be able to watch right now as it came out. So. Zellner, well, she does it pro bono, but the whole thing is that once she's successful, she's then able to go back in through civil cases or civil suit and to get money. So like recently, I believe she just got Ryan Ferguson. They finally just got their settlement, and it was somewhere in the millions. So that's pretty much I think where she recoups the money she spends to exonerate people. Am I streaming the show? No, I'm not streaming MAM2 itself. No, I would not be allowed to. Either probably, well, number one, YouTube would shut it down because of copyright infringement. So no, I wouldn't be able to do that, unfortunately. So to go over some of those things that I thought were interesting though is the way, well, first of all, they started with Steven's finger. They started with the little, what I call the squiggle by the ignition. Now, I've been saying for a long time that surface where that was on, it's like a couple inches away. It's like 3 inches away. So when you're turning that key, yeah, okay, maybe your finger gets like an inch closer to it, but it's still like 3 inches away, and doesn't make sense. And then you saw Stuart James immediately jump into the fact when she's talking, when Zellner's talking about that blood stain, Stuart's like, wait, is there any on the wheel? No, there's none on the wheel. Oh, is there any? Like he's just like trying to figure out, is there any on the key? Nope, there's no blood on the key, and that sort of thing. And I just thought that was fascinating because he's immediately jumping to the fact that it's not showing up where it should be. And then she tells them, oh yeah, and it also isn't on the handle that you would operate to open the door to get into the vehicle. It's also not there. And then so they have their little experiment where they put the blood on the guy's finger, approximately where Steven's cut was, had him opening the door and all that sort of stuff. I thought that was great to have the visual representation of it done by Zellner and her blood spatter expert Stuart James. It was brilliant. It was great. I loved episode 1. It was awesome. So that's my official line. Okay, makes sense, yes. Ray Duran was very interesting for Pete Dassey to say they interviewed his boys but got nothing and went to Brendan. Well, that's pretty much what I've always thought too. The other Dassey boys were more headstrong, but they saw weakness in Brendan. They saw something they could exploit. I've always felt something very similar to that myself. I would never be able to sleep at night if I thought the wrong people were sitting in jail, needlessly losing their. Well, yeah, and it's easy to say that when you haven't felt the tragic loss, right, of a loved one, as her friends have done there. But I agree that it is important to make sure that the right person gets thrown away, because otherwise it's kind of like a double disgrace, in a sense. It's just made worse by the fact that it was handled poorly by law enforcement and the state and the county there and the DA. So yeah, it's all those things make the whole situation even more unfortunate, and I really hate that aspect of this for the Hallbox. Personally, it bothers me, because I feel for them, but I also feel for the Averys and the Dasseys, because I can tell there's some total BS here, and until we can get to the bottom of the barrel on the BS here, it's hard to be certain of anything. So, but Zellner's digging into that bucket of BS, and she's going to be getting to the bottom of it for sure. Mark Hodna watching MAM2 now. I just finished episode 1. Like I said, great. It was it was awesome. Like I said, it's with Stuart James the whole time, her blood spatter expert. Well, maybe put like the whole second half of it. The first half of it was great too. I particularly liked the bit with when they were talking about with Stuart James and everything, and they were talking about where the blood is found in the RAV4. It's like some's found over here in this door jamb, some's found on this passenger seat area, some's found over by the driver, by the ignition there, squiggle, whatever. And so she's like, oh yeah, you're saying that the dots don't connect, and the Stuart James and his guy are going, the dots aren't even in the same book. I thought that was a great line. I thought that was awesome. Yes, it was fascinating. Midway through season 2, episode 1. Glad to watch and analyze with you. Oh yeah, it's a good episode. I mean, I'm happy. I'm very happy. I was worried that it might come off a little stale or stodgy or too like technical and all about the law and very dry and stale in that sense, I guess is what I was trying to say. So I thought it might be that way, but it's actually, so far, I love it. It's very fascinating, and even though I read these things in previous filings and understood them as I read them, it was still really awesome to see the visual representations of them actually doing it right there on the screen. That was for me awesome. Life is life, yeah. Ray Duran, love attention to detail from Zellner. Yes, I mean, I like that. She was just like, look, this is why the prosecution's theory doesn't work. They were basically lying in court to promote this narrative. DSP, for both Avery and Hallbach's families, both have lost in this scenario for sure. Absolutely. That's the way I am here, the way that I feel about it. I know that there are some people out there that believe that Teresa is still alive. I accept that possibility exists, and with the complete pig's ear that they made of her death certificate, they certainly do not help to dispel that. So I also respect those people, but ultimately I have to give respect to the Hallbachs the most, because most likely, whatever the case may be, I just have to assume that Teresa's not around because nobody's seen her, and so I got to give the Hallbachs the respect at this time that I feel they deserve. So, but I do respect. I do see the point that those people who believe that Teresa may still be alive, I do see their point. I do see why they believe the way that they do. It's just not my favorite theory, but I accept that it's a possibility. I have to finish the first episode and come back. You're way ahead of me. Sorry, Maggie. 4:15 in Ontario, Canada. Fell asleep and got a bit late start. Oh, sorry to hear that. Uh-oh. Chris woke up late. Hey, Chris, I watched Louder with Crowder, by the way. Yes, I did. Oh, don't forget to like, guys. Oh, thank you. Yeah, please do like the stream there. Maggie, same Chris. You guys woke up a little late, huh? Yeah. I honestly was planning to take a little nap, but it wasn't really in the cards. It didn't happen. So I'm basically running on sheer will, I guess you might say. So but yeah, so I guess not enough people got a chance to watch yet. So I think we'll go ahead and end the stream right about now. And we'll come back, and those of you who have now got up and have started watching can possibly be maybe partially caught up by the time I do the second live stream after episode 2. Unless anybody has some quick questions, of course. Always willing to answer any questions. The Crowder, okay. All right, right before we go here. Okay, Crowder. Let's watch the Louder with Crowder. Okay, what that is kind of a well-conceived piece of comedy, and I will say it was humorous. But Stephen Avery has never said or acted like any of those things. Literally, that person that was calling in acting like Stephen Avery was, I don't know, just that. I found it a little bit distasteful, but I did also see the humor in it. And then I think what you're probably referring to, whereas he had good points, I think that's probably, because I do remember you saying something about him having good points. I can only imagine you're referring to, the document that he was referring to, about Brendan saying that he was molested and stuff. Well, here's the thing. The thing about that is that I cannot really put a whole lot of stock in anything that law enforcement got out of Brendan. That anything that he said to law enforcement, I cannot really put much stock in. And when you think about it, because it's not hard for me to believe that they were pressuring him to say things about Steven and stuff, because I've heard Barb say that they were trying to get her and kind of bullying her to say things like that about Steven. And we know from some of the other videos I've done the things that they were talking to Jody about, and things that they were asking Jody about and probing in, her about, and things like that. So we know that the law enforcement was going around in this case and pushing people to say things about Steven, being that way, right? And we know in this case that Brendan is very susceptible to that type of pressure. So my answer is, it matters how much stock you put in that document. Crowder, he puts a lot of stock in it. He thinks that the things that Brendan Dassey says to law enforcement are credible, and he can put some stock in them. I don't. Where are we at? Okay, talk about Crowder. Okay, see you after part 2. Okay, Ray. I'm trying to watch and listen from... Okay, well, I'm going to be cutting this off here in a minute. I'm just looking at the last comments, making sure I'm not going to miss any questions. I'm asking Kratz. Yeah, Stacy, right on. Good morning from Georgia. Yes, good morning, Jenny. Hello, Grace. So far, so good. Yes, we will definitely be back here after I watch the second episode, and that will give some of these folks here a chance to get caught up. And because certainly some people here like Chris Wheeler and Maggie, they woke up a little bit late, so yeah, the points video, right? Wait, what? Okay, if I had the wrong one, Chris, just after we're done here, leave the link to the video you're talking about as a comment after the live stream's over here, and then I will probably not tonight, to be perfectly honest. I don't know, maybe we'll see, but and I'll check it out, and then maybe by the next time I go live or something, or by the next video I'll address it. Not in 30. The episodes are actually about 55 minutes long, so it'll be about 55 minutes. Just call it an hour. I love it watching everybody watching. So tune back in about an hour, or look for the notification in about an hour, because I'll be back in about an hour after I watch episode 2, and then hopefully some of you will have had a chance to get caught up, and most of you will be, at least hopefully, most of the way through episode 2 by the time that I go live again. And I may wait an extra 5 minutes, maybe, or 10 minutes before I actually go live, just to give people just that little bit more time to get caught up. So... Hi, Anthony. Okay, well, now you know. Tune back in an hour. Tune back in an hour. That's what I meant. I will wait about 5-10 minutes, maybe possibly 15 or so. I will wait. I won't go live immediately, so that some of you will have the chance to catch up. Right. That's what I'll do. Got you, Maggie. Okay, guys. So, we'll see you guys in about an hour. Well, a little more than an hour, actually. So...